Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpacktrader training room for Tuesday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not to be considered individual financial advice. Trading of this type carries significant risks and should only be attempted with funds that you can afford to do without. All right. All right, the YM is flat, waiting for the open, as is soybeans. Soybeans not very active. That's yesterday evening's open. Good morning, Miles. Please do say hello in the chat. Unleaded getting us, crude getting and unleaded both getting the job done this morning. 903.10 for crude. First trade at 78.84. Picks up targets of 20 and 32, 52 ticks. And a monster trailer. Soybeans with a short, YM with a long. Market just opened. Soybeans definitely in the short. And YM probably avoided that long trade. Seven seconds down to below. Good, fair. That's probably a 50-50 chance. Soybeans, one tick from target. That's a pretty good sized target, it looks like. Yeah, 16 ticks. Good morning, Pamela. Unleaded gas, 903.12, just 2 seconds after. And that's a filtered stop and reverse on soybeans going against the trend mode indicator. YM with another long trade. This one we're going to be in. Well, actually, maybe not. 32. Yeah, we're definitely in this one. That's definitely a full loss. Russell picks up a short. That's a break-even trade. So as I was saying, unleaded gas, 903.12 for the entry at 49.14. Picks up target 1 for 51 ticks or target 2 for 78. 49.14 to trailing stop at 47.96. From 49.14, 118 ticks. Nice one and done session with plenty of time there to get into that on unleaded. And we'll bring up the MNQ and another break-even trade on the Russell. And the MNQ just hit at start time. And another long trade on the YM. This one looks to be being successful. There's money management. That is a 29 tick target. Our last trade was a 34 tick risk, so that's a 68 tick loss. So we're down 39 now. 069 for the trailer. And our entry was 066. Stop and reverse at 72. And that's good in sync. It went down to 71, so I would bring it down to 69. Stop and reverse at the trailing stop. See if we can get out of this with a little bit more here. Surviving at 69 again so far. Long trade needing to push through the 50 EMA to get to target 2 or get higher, and there it stopped out at 69, and so that reverses to short at 69. That is a 5 tick adjustment, and so it's only an 18 tick target. So go to target 2 on the short. Actually, that's we're still negative, so, and looks like stopping out. So ouch. So that was another 34 tick risk with the adjustment. So we're down 39 plus 68, 107. And I didn't trade pound Aussie this morning because the spreads were too high at 8:30. Monday morning open pre-market for the U.S. market, and everything was bouncing around like crazy, and the pound Aussie spread stayed 7 or 8 pips for several minutes. And so I didn't try to deal with that. And MNQ with the long. And that looks like, is that, yeah, oh, that's a, yeah, it's a break. That's another break-even trade, I suspect. It came down and touched the stop, but That likely is before. Welcome, Eric. Okay, full stop out on the MNQ. And we now have a stop and reverse triggering short. We have a stop and reverse, and we call it at 76 even. 70, 75, 75. And that comes off the table because we hit the entry and the stop unadjusted. So we are in the short. And full stop. So 2 losses to open up on the MNQ this morning. Avoidable trade on the Russell on the short. And now we have a long on the Russell. YM with a long also. Definitely in the trade on the YM. Still in the short trade on soybeans. Came up, sort of tested the 200. Didn't get real close to it. And a full stop out on the Russell. So 2 break evens and a loss. Russell and the Micro Russell and the Micro NQ are both giving us trouble this morning. They can both. And we reversed at 77 on the YM. And now it's taking heat, but we'll see what it does. And another full stop out on the YM. That's 3 full stop outs and a target 1 this morning. Soybeans kind of stuck in no man's land, sitting between the 20 SMA and the 50 EMA at the moment. I believe that, yeah, that's a squeeze zone trade that's filtered on the YM. short on the micro NQ. See where we're going to go there. In negative territory this morning. And loss number 3. That ends the session. The micro NQ. Long trade on the Russell, micro Russell. Those are both catapult charts. And the Russell pushing in money, getting targets 3 and 4 and trailing 34.3. $34.9, $35.7 for the Russell stop. MNQ finally getting its act together, but we're done there. $36.7 on the Russell. Long trade on the YM at 147. Actually, I'd take that to 151 with the 200 EMA sitting at 149. But in that at 151. And pushing for target. Stop and reverse on the soybeans. 40.5. Right there with that yellow line. 37.7 for the Russell stop. YM hitting target. That is trade number 5. 36 tick target, trailing at 167. $168 for the YM trailing stop. 38.7 for the Russell. 10 a.m. crude session in about 12 minutes. Soybeans is still short, and the Russell stopping out at 38.7. So 2 break evens, 1 win, 1 loss on the Russell. Potential to take 2 more trades. And the YM stopping out at 179. A new short trade at 169. And pull that down to 167 with the 20 SMA sitting right there. And still triggers in. And a full stop out on the YM. That ends the YM session. The net of those last 2 trades was actually about a 6-tick loss, unfortunately. Stop and reverse still in place on soybeans, but still short. And another long trade on the Russell. Missing stop by a tick, it looks like. And stopping out. So that ends the Russell session. Russell and the MNQ both having tough sessions, finishing with 3 losses each. About 8 minutes to crude. So we have crude and soybeans to go yet. Soybeans still working on the short. This was its first trade of the morning. So the question is where we go from here. 6 minutes to go for crude. It has a long or short breakout situation. Both trades are valid. Actually, the long trade canceled. So all we have now is the get in sync short. Five minutes. Pound Aussie looking decent at the moment. Yeah, looking like 3.5 to 4 pip spread, so it's reasonable to try to trade, but I'm outside of my trade plan, so I'm not going to jump in at this point. Under 4 minutes to go on crude. Getting very close to the 50 crossing over the 200. And if it does, and we aren't to our start time, I would say that's going to filter out the short for a few bars, even though it's a triggered in trade. We aren't in it, and so I would stay away from it until we get through our crossover filter, is what I'm seeing at the moment. But we'll have to see what happens. About 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes to go. And there's our crossover. So I would wait my 8 bars, at least 8 bars before I take the short. Looks like it may stop out anyway, and it does. So we're flat and nothing to take right now, with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. And the stop and reverse long just canceled on soybeans, and we're still in the short. Crude pushing up toward the $79 mark. Fairly strong upward trend right now on crude oil. And just about to come to 10 o'clock. 20 seconds to go. Looking for only long trades right now. We're still in the crossover filter. And we're in our session. Soybeans back hit its original entry point on the short. And that's still surviving from right at open this morning. Half an hour later. All right, there's a set of exhaustion dots. And let's see, that was our crossover. So 1, 2. Okay, there's the magenta bar. So if we get a short setup now, we can take it. That is 8 bars in. I'd be a little leery of a short setup now anyway with the general trend I'm seeing. Not able to break down significantly through the 20 SMA. I'm taking another leg upward. But this one's a little bit, this leg is a little bit shorter than the initial upward leg. So things are maybe turning. And this is the last bar to get a setup. So no short setup. And we didn't get close enough to the SMA, the 20 SMA, to get a setup off of it. And coming to session open at 79.18. Third leg is shorter than the second one. Okay, here comes a possible short. And there it is at 78.94. 93 if you didn't get in immediately. It came right down to the entry. And the 20 SMA is up to 91. That's only 15 ticks to target one, so I hesitate to make a 4-tick adjustment. Or actually a 5-tick adjustment. And a long trade. That's it. 79.16. I would take that unadjusted, but it didn't hit. Doesn't look, yeah, it didn't hit 16 because we adjusted entry. We have not hit on the short trade. Although 19 wouldn't be unreasonable with the session open sitting at 18. It's an 18-tick target, so 3-tick adjustment wouldn't be unreasonable there. You've got another swing high at 15 there. Yeah, I'd take that up to 19. Triggering into the long. That's actually our first trade of the 10 a.m. session. Pushing up toward money management at 32. First target at 34. Good morning, Don. Hey, pretty much. Oh, and I was not watching soybeans. We stopped and reversed at 40 and 3/4. Actually, make that 41 1/4. Pushing through the 200 EMA. At 40.75. And triggering us short, or triggering us long, rather. So that is a 19-tick loss from entry to the stop and reverse, adjusted. So 70 down 76. Soybeans has some work to do. Looks like money management on the crude trade. Need a couple more ticks to get to target. That'll bring the stop to, now we'll keep it at 79.19 because of our adjustment. Dead break even. Got one tick. We need one more to get target on crude. And there it was. Just got to 34. That should be target one. That's going to be 15 ticks. 15 tick win with their adjustment. And soybeans also hitting target one. So that was an 8 tick net after adjustment. So down 68. Stop at 41.50. We're just one tick away from that. And crude's starting to move a little bit now. Target 2 at 44. That'll be another 25 ticks. Oh, and we touched it. We got to target 2 on the nose. So that is 40 ticks for the session. One and done. And that brings us to a close on everything except soybeans. Questions this morning? Regular schedule this week. Crude oil inventory report tomorrow at 10:30. We have a Monday holiday next week. So crude oil next week will be Thursday at 11. And we did stop out on our adjusted stop at 41.50. on soybeans. So that picks up another 3 ticks. So we're down 65. Let's see, I'm on March. Let's see what the volume looks like. Yeah, volume is still about 36,000 to 26,000 for May. So I would still be in the March. Would think you'd want to be in the March contract. We'll roll over to May very shortly. Yeah, May is getting a fair amount of action at 26,600 contracts, but March has over 36.3. So that's where I look at is where's the most volume, and it's still around 3-2 March over May. But that's something to be aware of. Just keep an eye on it. Check the volume in the morning each morning before you trade. And which also brings up the fact that we should be rolling to the April contract on crude either late this week or early first of next week. So our energies will probably roll. In fact, let's take a look at unleaded. It has a habit of rolling a few days before crude does. Yeah, in fact, it's at 9,500 contracts to 6,900. Didn't look at it this morning, so actually should be on the April contract there. Go back to 9 o'clock and see what we did there. Okay, we got something similar just a minute or two later. Yep, plenty of time to get in, or should have been. Targets 1 and 2 and a big trailer. 66.86 from 69.12. Yeah, that's 226 ticks on the April contract. So that actually did even better than our March contract. But both were moving, and both had some volume. So March or April would have been okay today, but should be on April now. I don't know if Troy has a TradeStation workspace for the. I'm basically working off essentially the same workspace that he is. Like my catapult charts may be a little different than his, but since I don't have TradeStation, I don't have setups for it. Okay, unadjusted, we didn't stop out of the soybeans trade. So I would be willing to take an add-on trade here because we are flat, and it looks like we may just get the trade that we were in was a 200 EMA trade, and it looks like we may get another one right now. No, it's not. That's not a 200 EMA. That's just a purple trade. But we should get in a set of exhaustion dots there, which is going to should give us a green add-on. Well, that's assuming we get an up bar. Yeah, there are our exhaustion dots. So now all we need is an up bar. Working up close to the session high. Session high at 1544.50. Okay, no long setup, but we did stop out of the unadjusted trade. Actually, and we've got a potential short setup, but we have not gotten across the cyan below the yellow line, but it is getting there. In fact, it looks like it is crossing over on this bar. So we should get a trade set up with the entry at 41.25. Short trade set up on the close of this bar, barring something unusual. Looks like with where the 200 is, I would take that at 40.75. And there it is. It's filtered, though. It's a squeeze zone. So no trade. And it would have been a squeeze zone anyway. But this is a new trade. This is a new trade because this is a new set of exhaustion dots. So this is actually a new trade at 1540 that is filtered. 1540 flat. One tick above the 50 EMA, so I might be willing to take that one given the rejection at the session high. Maybe at 39.25 or 39.50. And it's a 13, so it'd be 10 or 11. And a 10 tick trade, yeah, I'd take that at 1350. Actually, go ahead and take, 39.25 was a 10 tick trade. I'll take that. No trade so far. If it pushes through the 50 with that double top, I would definitely want to be in that trade. Other questions, since that's the only chart we're watching at the moment. Everything else is done. Energies did nicely. Crude and unleaded. Crude with 2 winning mini sessions. Unleaded with a solid win this morning on whichever contract you were trading on unleaded, March or April. 100 plus tick trailer on the March contract, 200 tick trailer on the April contract. Our market indices not doing well this morning. Losing sessions on all three: the Micro Russell Catapult, the Micro NQ Catapult, and the YM Spotlight. Soybeans at the 50 again, and there's a trigger to the short. I said I like this trade if it got to this level, and we'll see if I was right. Down 65 on our first 2 trades. Getting a couple of ticks beyond. There's another tick. Need to push down to make this one work. And back up to 75. Right on the 50 at the moment. We'll give it a few minutes. Soybeans having trouble getting away from moving averages at the moment. And now chase ticks on that trade just pushed it beyond the 50 EMA, so that made it a valid trade. I still like the one tick adjustment beyond that. So we'd be in it. Well, no, actually you wouldn't be yet if you were strictly going by the trade as plotted, because it wasn't valid until that last bar closed. Did it? Yeah, we came up and triggered it right there. So definitely in the trade. This was not a chase tick situation. It was just a straight new trade, because this one would have been valid up here at 41.25, because it would not have been in the squeeze zone. It was up above the 200 EMA. And we did come back up to it right here. So that would have been an interesting trade as well. And it looks like it's going to be maybe a while before we get a move here. So I think it's going to be time to call it a morning. I still like this trade on soybeans. $10, $17, and $25 off of my adjustment. But it's not going anywhere very fast right now. So unless there are other questions, I'm going to call it a morning and let everybody get on with their business. All right, folks. We will see you again tomorrow morning. Regular session at 9:30. Crude oil inventory report tomorrow at 10:30. Everyone have a good afternoon. And check those volumes tomorrow morning as we come in to set up. And you're most welcome, Don, Neil, Pamela. And see you tomorrow.